Let's make this print in place hinge in Plasticity. I'm going to start with a new scene as always. I'm going to select my perspective view and turn on snap to grid. Then I'm going to pick my center circle, and from the origin I'm going to drag out. I'm going to hit V so that I make sure it's vertical, and it's going to be 14 millimeters. Probably it's going to be okay, I think. Then hit G, F, click this middle point here and bring it up. Now, if you consider this perspective plane as the print bed, you're going to notice that the circle slopes up very gently. This is going to cause some artifacts around here because it's going to droop, the filament is going to droop down. Usually I don't mind, but in this case it's a mechanism, so it's probably going to impair it. So I want to make the line that goes up from the print bed a little steeper. I'm going to select my line tool and making sure I got this tangent constraint going on. You can tell that by the purple line. I'm going to click, then mirror on the other side, then get my line tool again and connect the two vertices. Effectively, we have created this new hinge cylinder shape. I'm going to push it out, let's say something like 16 millimeters. I'm going to hide my curves for now, so I don't need them. And now I'm going to make, in fact, I'm actually going to hide this as well. I'm going to go to my top view, and I'm going to make a corner rectangle for the flat part of the hinge. So it's going to be as long as the other, which is 16 millimeters and maybe 30 millimeters long. I am going to re-enable that, and let's see, probably something like, yeah, something like 3 millimeters is enough for the thickness, even 4. Actually, let's make it 4 millimeters. I am going to hit Q with this selected, select the mechanism part, and hit T so that we keep it, to remove the extra chunk that we're not going to need, otherwise it's going to get in the way later. Now I want to mirror this, so Alt X, we're going to mirror it on the X-axis, making sure that we do not cut down on the mirror plane, so that we create a clean copy. Hit OK, and with this new copy selected, I'm going to hit G and move it away. We're going to match this face, so 16 millimeters is going to be fine. Now we're going to create the mechanism proper, so I'm going to select this one, then the circle, go back to the side view, and from the center of the circle, making sure it's the actual center, you can tell because if you snap it, it's going to create the actual circle. Making it something like probably 10 millimeters, because we want a little edge. We're going to push this out 3 millimeters, and then in chamfer another 3. We're not going to need this circle probably, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to select both these, QQ, and then unisolate, select the other part of the hinge, Q, select this one. When it turns red, it means it's removing. If you hit Q twice, as I did a second ago, it's going to merge it. If you hit W, it's going to remove it, which is also the default. Hit T to keep that, and enter. So this is our mechanism, except now they are sticking to each other, so we want this to be a little larger. Let's give it something like, I'm going to disable the snap to grid for a second, probably 0.1 clearance is enough. Let's make it 0.2. 0.2 is actually standard, so minus 0.2. This should be plenty for our mechanism. So this is almost done, except now, again, these are sticking, so we want to create a little bit of space here. We're going to do it on this side. So I'm going to push this. Actually, let's turn on snap to grid and let's snap 0.1 millimeters. It's going to be a little easier, 0.2. Unisolate. So the problem with this is that if we print it as it is now, it's going to fall apart. Obviously, this is not a hinge. So we're going to have to mirror this or this to the other side. I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to create a new mirror plane. I'm going to select this and this. Shift space to create a plane in between those and select these two. I am going to mirror them on this axis and hit enter. I'm going to remove the temporary plane. Now this is a hinge. It's a little weird, but it is a hinge. I'm going to push this to the other side, and then I'm going to select both, QQ. I'm going to extend these as well, because they will need to be extended. And let me turn back on the 1 millimeter here, because otherwise it's going to be a little strange. So push it out so that it matches. So this is our hinge. Basically, I feel like maybe we should make it a little longer. We're not done yet, but let's push it another 3 millimeters, maybe. Now, it's looking pretty good, except the problem is there are some parts that are still sticking. Specifically, what we want to make sure is that this edge here does not stick to the center of these, or to the side of this cylinder thing here. So we're gonna select both of those, and I think it's safe enough at this point to merge them together. I'm gonna see if I can FRED, delete redundant topology. There is none. We're gonna push these faces in ever so slightly. Let's say, let's reduce this again. Let's do it 0.2 probably. And we're going to do the same here. We're going to select these. In this case, this is the right side of the hinge. QQ. Merge them. And then we're going to push this one in. So 0.2. And I think this is looking good. Technically speaking, this should already be printable. It's just going to look a little sharp if we do it now. So why don't we go ahead and add some chamfers. I'm going to select only the ones that I need. So we probably want, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and select all of them except the base one. So all of them except the very base edges. And this one should also be selected. Let's make sure these are selected properly. We also do not really want the middle ones. Actually, so let's control click this, not that, this one and then this and that. This one needs to be removed as well, and I think we're good. So let's try with a chamfer now, or a fillet. I'm going to push this, and I'm going to make it probably something like 0.4. Yeah, it's going to be enough. Let's check it. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And for the bottom, I could have used the fillet as well, but as I mentioned before when I was talking about the circle, if the angle is too rounded, when it touches the print bed, it's going to create some artifacts, so we want to avoid that, ideally. In fact, now that I see this, I'm probably also going to give it a little more padding around here on the pointy edge. So let's see if we can do it. Well, it's going to select all of it, so it doesn't change anything. I'm going to select the bottom faces with 3, and then Control 2 to select the edges. Bevel with B, and then C for chamfer. And I should be able to push these in. And I'm going to make this 0.4 as well. Honestly, I think this should be a little more, should give it a little more space, but it's going to create an artifact if I do that. So I'm going to leave it as it is. All right, I think this is pretty good looking. And why don't we go ahead and print it. That's all I had for you today. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe for more. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.